Glory is one of the best two-player games I've played in quite some time, and if you like deck-building games, you're going to want to check this one out. Let's talk about it! What does that even mean, Bauer's Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review, and today I'm very excited to be checking out For Glory, the game of gladiatorial combat and deck building. This is for two players, take about 69 minutes to play, it's for ages 14 plus, and this is from Spielcraft Games, and they actually sent me the premium edition, so I'm going to be talking about the premium edition of the game, but in For Glory, this is a deck building game in which half of the game is deck building, and then half of the game is actually a gladiatorial combat phase, where you're going to be trying to best your opponent's gladiators. Now, this is a really fascinating game because it's not your typical deck building game that there's only one pile of cards to buy from. There's actually three separate pile of cards to buy from. You can buy gladiators, and all the gladiators are different, have their own unique special abilities, their own secret, well, not secret perks, but their own perks that will come into play either when you play them, or when you set them out, or when they get attacked, or when they get knocked out. All sorts of stuff. Tons of variability in just that pile alone. If this was just a gladiator deck building game, and it was just that pile but expanded, I would say this is a good game. That's how high I am on this game, spoiler alert. But then there's another pile, which is all about how you run your, I believe it's called Bacchus or whatever it is, your place where people fight, the gladiators get trained. And you're going to have different people, aka the money people, that are going to do different special abilities. So maybe some of them are really good at allowing you to have more gladiators, just because they're giving you more cash, or maybe some are going to give you discounts here or there. Maybe some are going to actually attack your other opponents and do like some backdoor shenanigans. And it works really well thematically, but that deck in itself is once again so drastically different. And then there's a third deck, which does all sorts of crazy stuff, but that third deck also is going to give you some cards that you're going to be able to use in the Gladiator Battles themselves. So you're going to have this whole deck building phase where you're going to be purchasing those cards, you're going to be playing cards out, you're going to be gaining coins, and then you get to the Gladiator Phase. And the Gladiator Phase is really stinking cool because it's got this mechanism where you can actually bribe the judges. So you can put extra gladiators in that you weren't expecting to be able to get in. So it's like a surprise to your opponent. And also there's this whole card reservation system where you can reserve cards during the deck building phase, and then you can take them out during the Gladiator Phase, but it costs you 1 coin a card to get it back. And that's pretty stinking expensive. And you have to buy all the cards back, so it adds like a press your luck mechanism right there. It's really cool. Not to mention, I'm supposed to be talking about the review, but I'm just telling you about all the cool stuff in the game. Spoiler, I'm going to tell you I like the game a lot. But then there's also, the Gladiator Battles. You're going to have these battles, and if you win a battle, you will unlock a special perk for that gladiatorial arena, and it's really cool. There's just so many different choices to be made in this game. If you want to see exactly how the game is played, check out the video me and Lucy shot, where we shot a gameplay of it, but this is the review, so let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the cons side, the game's not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. 2 players, very restricted player count, 2 players only. I understand why it's 2 players only, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that in the future they could add more players to the game. But that being said, it feels like a very fine-tuned, well-balanced game. There's just such a wide variety of cards, and you can combo cards in so many different ways, but none of them really felt broken the 3 times I played the game. Next, on the con side, the box is way too big for what it holds inside. Let me get you a look at this. Like, it's nice, and this is in the premium edition. I don't know what's different about this edition versus the other edition, but look how much space is not used in this box. It's kind of ridiculous. Granted, they could fit 10 expansions in here. You could probably fit, and I don't want to over-exaggerate here. I'm going to actually take a guesstimate. I think you could literally fit 4 to 5 copies of the base game in this box. That's kind of absurd. Now, that being said, as we're going to get into the pros, you're going to want to fill this box with expansions. But yeah, still it stinks that the box is that big. Any other cons that I have in the game? I have so few cons, just mostly the player count. And yeah, that's about it. Moving on to the pros, I think For Glory is not only one of the best deck building games that I've played in quite a while, but also one of the best 2-player only games that I've played in quite some time. And if I made a top 10 only 2-player list, I think this would already be on that list. That's how solid this game is. Every time I plumb into this game, I'm going to try and formulate a different strategy. Maybe I'm going for a whole bunch of different reaction cards, so when it comes to the gladiatorial combat, I'm just going to be crushing it there. Maybe I'm going to have the best people helping me run my thing, and I'm going to start stacking cards on top of cards on top of cards, because, as I mentioned, there's lots of cards in this game that do really cool special things, and they stack with each other. They can work with each other, and it ends up being one of those type of games where it's like, oh, if the perfect card were to come up, I could grab it. So I love that aspect of the game, but the fact that it's deck building also means that if someone else sees that, well, your opponent, not someone else, if your opponent sees the strategy you're going for, they're like, oh wow, I can't let you have this card, they can purchase the card, or there's an entire card in the game that will just let you clear out a starter card, I should say, that will you just clear out one of your 3 deck building areas. And there's just so many little things in this game that they did so exceptionally well that I just don't see this game leaving my collection anytime soon. And I'm going to slap a Bauer's Best Seal on it. I was tempted. I was like, man, I think it might need an expansion to get a Bauer's Best Seal. No, slap a Bauer's Best Seal on it. For Glory is one of the best 2-player games I've ever played. It is so cool as well, the components, if you get the deluxe edition. I do mention that the coins, oh my gosh, these coins are some of the nicest. Let me rephrase that. These coins are some of the coolest coins I've ever seen in a game. Now, nicest, I don't know if I'd go that far. Like, I've seen some super nice coins, but these ones really feel and look like old Roman coins. Like, if you gave this to like a 12, you know what, actually, I tell you what, if you just dropped a whole bunch of these on the beach, and this would be a fun little science experiment, if you dropped a whole bunch of these on the beach, and people just sort of found them throughout the day, I think the overwhelming majority who found one of these coins would be like, oh my gosh, this is going to be worth some money. Oh my gosh, give me my phone. Like, that's exactly what would happen as soon as everyone saw these coins, I think. Because they look so authentic. I like the artwork. You know, it doesn't wow you. It doesn't have like a really crazy unique art style, but it's very well done, and it felt consistent for the most part. I like all the special abilities. There's tons of variability, tons of game in here, and as a 2-player game, this is exactly what I want. Every single time I play this game, I'm going to be able to have a different strategy, different cards, different approaches. There's a great deal of variability here, and I think if you're in the market for a 2-player game, this is absolutely one you want to put on your radar. That is For Glory, Spielcraft game, slap a Bauer's Best title on it. We're not just awarding it 2 Native American statues. No. We are also going to give it the very prestigious Carlton Fisk Award as well, which is a new rating system that I might or might not utilize. I don't know. Let's know how it goes. But there you go. That is For Glory from Spielcraft Games. Absolutely spectacular. Definitely one of my top games of 2020. Especially if you're in the market for a 2-player game. If you're enjoying what I'm doing, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below. If you want to support the channel, click on the Amazon link below. Buy anything on Amazon at all, and I get like a couple nickels off of it. It's really cool. Spectacular. And in the comments below, let me know what is your favorite game. Oh, wait. If you could have a 2-player conversion of another game to make it specifically just a 2-player version of the game, what would it be? And I think I might have asked this question before. I hope not. I think I've answered before. It's Twilight Imperium, obviously. But you know what? I would like werewolf. I want werewolf. If there was a way to do werewolf 2-player where I don't even know. It wouldn't work. It would never work. But that's what I want. I want werewolf. Someone crack that code. But let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks for your time, YouTube.